Hello, how are you? Today I want to open my heart and share a very personal story, something that happened to me and changed my life forever. If you are here, I believe this story can help you too. It may be that you or someone you love are going through difficult times, searching for answers, a bit of hope. I know what that feels like. My life has always been ordinary. I was just a man with a normal routine. I had my wife, my children, and a job that demanded a lot from me. Of course, like everyone else, I had my dreams, responsibilities, worries, but I felt I was living a good life, a peaceful life, as much as possible. And it was precisely at this point that my life took a turn I could never have predicted. It all started with some symptoms that seemed harmless. Fatigue, a pain here, another there, but nothing I thought was alarming. After all, who hasn't felt tired, right? I thought it was the stress from work, the accumulation of responsibilities. But the symptoms worsened, and as they didn't go away, I decided to see a doctor. I never imagined that day would change my life. I went to the office, had some tests done, and after a week of waiting, I received the call to return to the doctor and discuss the results. I entered that office with my heart racing, but still trying to convince myself that it was nothing. It was then that I received the news I never expected to hear. I had cancer. That word echoed in my mind, as if time had frozen. I felt an emptiness, a deep pain. My life, my dreams, my family. Everything flashed through my mind in a matter of seconds. I couldn't hold back the tears. The feeling of helplessness was immense. No matter how hard I tried to understand, I couldn't accept it. I returned home with a shattered heart. I looked at my wife, at my children, and the only thing I could think was, why me? Why is this happening to me? The feeling of powerlessness was suffocating. In the days that followed, the sadness and fear were so great that I could barely eat, sleep, or even think of anything other than the illness. And with each test, each appointment, everything seemed to get darker. It was then that, amidst this darkness, something extraordinary happened. I was in my room alone when I felt an inexplicable urge to pray. I wasn't a religious person, nor someone who prayed frequently, but at that moment, it seemed like the only thing I could do. I closed my eyes and with all the sincerity of my heart, I asked God to give me a chance. I asked for strength. I asked for health. I asked that somehow He would help me out of that situation. My words came out laden with emotion. It was a true plea, a request from someone who was at rock bottom. After that night, something changed within me. I can't explain exactly what it was, but somehow I felt a peace I hadn't had before. It was as if I had received an invisible hug, a strength that told me, I am with you. I decided that from that moment on, I would face cancer with all the courage I could muster, and every day I dedicated a moment to pray. At first, it was just a request for healing, but over time, my prayer transformed. I began to ask for wisdom, serenity, and above all, gratitude for the time I had with my family. During the treatment, there were very difficult days. Days when it seemed like the pain would never pass, when discouragement almost defeated me. But whenever I felt weak, I prayed. Prayer became my source of strength, my anchor in the storm. And little by little, I began to notice that no matter how exhausting the treatment was, something was changing within me. Each test showed a small improvement. My doctor said I was responding well to the treatment, but I knew something greater was happening. Months later, after much effort, much pain, and many prayers, I received the news I had long awaited. I was cured. The cancer had disappeared. When I heard those words, I felt a mix of joy and gratitude I had never experienced before. It was as if I had received a new chance to live. I hugged my wife, my children, and at that moment, all I could do was thank. I believe that cure was a miracle, a direct response to the prayers I made with such faith and sincerity. Today I share this story because I believe that we all at some point need help. We need a greater strength to support us, to guide us, to give us hope when everything seems lost. If you are going through something similar, if you feel you have no more strength, I want you to know that prayer has extraordinary power. Prayer can be the light you need to face challenges that seem impossible to overcome.